Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So we have started with chapter 4, effects of electric current. In the first lecture we studied that there are two effects of electric current, magnetic effect and heating effect. We studied about some appliances which work on heating effect of electric current, about electric geyser, electric toaster, electric bulb, etc. Then we started about magnetic effect of electric current. Okay, what do you mean by magnetic effect? When the current is flowing through a conductor, it develops magnetic effect. That means a current carrying conductor could act as a magnet. It is said to be electromagnetism. Okay, when the current flows through a wire, it acts as a magnet. It is said to be electromagnetism. Okay, the magnetic effect of electric current was discovered by Oersted. Okay, so based on his study, Fleming's left hand rule was put forward. What did Fleming's left hand rule state? It stated that if you hold your left hand with your thumb, with your index finger and with your central finger mutually perpendicular to each other, and if the index finger shows the direction of magnetic field and the central finger shows the direction of current, then the thumb will show the motion of conductor, direction of motion of conductor. That means if you are placing a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, it experiences force and it shows change in position. That means it can move. That is Fleming's left hand rule. Based on that, we studied about electric motor, working of electric motor. Have you understood working of electric motor? You will have to read it several times for understanding the working of electric motor. But you are having only the basic thing in it. What is the basic thing? There is magnetic field, there is current, then the coil will move in anti-clockwise direction, and when the coil moves due to split rings, there are split rings like this, C from this side and C from this side, C. Okay, I had discussed it in the other lecture. So they are called as split rings. So due to the split rings, they will continue to move in anti-clockwise direction. So this was the working of electric motor. Now Michael Faraday was a scientist who found out that if a current carrying conductor experiences force in magnetic field, then if the force was applied on a conductor in a magnetic field, then the current could be produced. Okay, that means if the wire is placed in a magnetic field and if the current is passing through the wire, then the wire moves. Then what did Michael Faraday check? He studied that if you move the wire in a magnetic field, then the current should be generated in the wire. I repeat, if you move a wire in the magnetic field, the current should be generated in the wire. Now what do you mean by current? Current means movement of electrons. Okay, what is current electricity? It is movement of electrons. That means just in simple language I will tell, the electrons are sitting as it is. Okay, they are sitting idly when the wire is kept just lying down anywhere. But if you take the wire and make it move in a magnetic field, okay, you will keep two magnets on both sides, one north pole, one south pole, and if you move the wire, then the electrons start moving. Okay, then the electrons in that wire starts moving. This was found out by Michael Faraday. These are in simple words. Okay, I told you in simple words. You cannot write this. What is the experiment? You are taking a wire and you are moving it in a magnetic field. Then the electrons in the wire start moving and current is generated. That is said to be electromagnetic induction. That is called as electromagnetic induction. Now we will see what do you mean by electromagnetic induction. Who was the scientist who put forward? It was put forward by Michael Faraday. It is the phenomenon in which an EMF is induced in the coil due to change in magnetic field linked with the coil. Okay, so that means in which phenomenon in which an EMF means electromotive force. EMF means electromotive force which is provided by a cell. Okay, now it is the phenomenon in which an EMF is induced. Induced means forced. Induced means forced. Induced means forced. Okay, induced in the coil due to change in magnetic field linked with the coil. That means we have studied that magnetic lines of force are there. Okay, that means if this is a magnet, I had told you these are the magnetic lines of force. Okay, if you keep a conductor here, if you keep a conductor and if you move the conductor, then what is happening? The electrons in the conductor will start moving. Okay, that is electromagnetic induction. So the electrons are forced to move. That is said to be induced current. Okay, the electrons are forced to move. That is the meaning of the word induced. In Fleming's right-hand rule, and when you write about generator, the term induced current is very, very important. Okay, induced means which is forced. Okay, forced. Have you understood? So what is electromagnetic induction? It is the phenomenon in which an EMF is induced in the coil due to change in magnetic field linked with the coil. Now, there are several experiments given for you to explain what is exactly happening during the experiment. Okay, the first experiment is on page number 57. You may see page number 57. There are two stands. These are the two stands. Okay, these are the two stands. There is a magnet which is kept in the middle. There is a wire which is connected to a galvanometer. Now what is a galvanometer? Galvanometer is an instrument which measures the presence of current. Okay, I'll tell you in the next clip how a galvanometer works. What is exactly a galvanometer? Okay, now for the time being, what is galvanometer? It is an instrument which shows the presence of current. That means the pointer will move if the current is there in the circuit. So here this is a wire. You may see the diagram in the textbook. This is a wire. This wire is made to move in between a magnet. They have kept a magnet in the middle, and what you have to do, you have to move the wire. Okay, you have to move the wire in one direction. Now what will happen if you move the wire? This galvanometer will show deflection. It will move. What does that mean? This is a wire and this is a magnet. The magnet is having its magnetic lines of force. What is the wire doing? The wire is cutting the magnetic lines of force. Okay, so they are going with each other. Okay, against each other, perpendicular. So when they are moving, when the wire is moving in the magnetic field, then the electrons in the wire will start moving, and that is electricity. Due to that current, this galvanometer will show deflection. Okay, have you understood? That is the experiment. Now the next experiment is, you have to take a coil and a solenoid coil. Now you know what is a solenoid coil. Solenoid coil is in the form of a spring. When an insulated wire is wounded in the form of a coil, in the form of a spring, then it is said to be a solenoid. You may see the solenoid coil is connected to a battery. This is connected to a galvanometer. There are two coils. One is solenoid coil and one is normal coil. Now normal coil means you could get an iron core. Iron core. We had studied in electric motor. I had told you there is a core in the middle on which the wire is wound. Okay, there is a core in the middle on which the wire is wound. Okay, that is said to be core. That is iron core. So this is a coil. It is a coil. and this is solenoid coil. Okay, now this is solenoid coil which is connected to a battery. This is the coil which is connected to a galvanometer. Now what is done? When the current in the solenoid coil is switched on or switched off, now what you have to do, you have to switch on this solenoid. When you switch on this solenoid, the current will pass through the solenoid, okay, and this will start showing its magnetic effect. Okay, it will start acting as a magnet due to electromagnetism. Whenever electric current flows through a wire, it shows electromagnetism. Okay, it develops magnetic effect. So this will start acting as a magnet. This is placed in the magnetic field. Now this will be its magnetic field, like this. Like this, it will be its magnetic field. Do you remember the diagram of solenoid? On both sides you had drawn. Okay, so it will cut. This is placed in the magnetic field. So when you are putting it on, then there is magnetic field. When you are putting it off, then there is no magnetic field. Again, when you are putting it on, then there is magnetic field. When you are putting it off, there is no magnetic field. Okay, so what will happen? The magnetic lines of force are getting cut off, on, off, on, off, on, due to which the electrons in this coil get disturbed. Okay, they were sleeping till then. Okay, now when there is a magnetic field, they arise. Okay, something has happened, so they will start moving, and they will start moving and moving through the galvanometer, and the galvanometer will show deflection. The galvanometer shows deflection means there is current. Galvanometer shows deflection means there is current. Galvanometer shows deflection means there is current. Okay, so I repeat, what is the experiment? There is a solenoid coil, there is another coil. The solenoid coil is connected to a battery, that means there is electric supply. This is not having an electric supply, it is connected to a galvanometer. You are putting the solenoid on, off, on, off, on, off, due to which what happens? The current is generated. The current is generated in the coil, and the galvanometer will show deflection. Okay, now in the next experiment, again the setup is the same. There is a solenoid coil, there is a coil. Now this is connected to a galvanometer, this is connected to a battery. What is done? When a current is passing through the solenoid coil and the coil is displaced laterally with respect to the solenoid coil, it is displaced laterally. This coil you have to move it. Okay, this is continuously on. This is continuously on means here you were putting it switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, you are doing it. But here you are not doing switch on, switch off, you have put it continuously on. Okay, but so it will act as a magnetic field. There is a magnetic field. The red colored lines which has been shown is magnetic field. So when there is a magnetic field, and what we are doing with this coil, we are moving this coil in the magnetic field. So when we are moving the coil in the magnetic field, the electrons get disturbed. Okay, so they arise and they start moving. So when they start moving, the galvanometer will show deflection. Okay, now the next one. Again the setup is the same, galvanometer and the solenoid coil. The solenoid coil is connected to a battery. The coil is connected to a galvanometer. Now we are moving the solenoid coil longitudinally. When the current is passing through the solenoid coil and the solenoid coil is displaced longitudinally with respect to the coil. Okay, now in this case the coil is moving laterally. In this case the solenoid coil is moving longitudinally. Okay, now what is happening? The solenoid coil is having a magnetic field because the switch is on. Okay, so there is a magnetic field and the coil is sitting simply. The electrons are sitting simply, doing nothing. Now what is the solenoid doing? The solenoid is moving. We are moving the solenoid coil. We are moving the solenoid coil means this lines of force, they are continuously being disturbed. The coil is sitting in between. Okay, the coil is sitting in between and the lines of force are getting disturbed. So what will happen to the electrons? Electrons will get disturbed and they will start moving. Okay, and they will start moving. So the electrons move, the galvanometer shows deflection. So what is this experiment? When a current passing through the solenoid coil and the solenoid coil is displaced longitudinally with respect to the coil. Now in all these conditions, what is happening? There is a conductor, okay, and there is a magnetic field. Okay, in the magnetic field, if you are moving the conductor, then what will happen? The electrons in the conductor will start moving. Okay, the electrons in the conductor will start moving. Just accept it as a story. There is a magnetic field, there is a conductor. If you are moving the conductor, then the electrons in the conductor will start moving and current is generated in the conductor. Current is generated means current is produced. Current is started in the wire. Okay, the wire is not connected to any battery. It is not connected to any electric supply. But the current is generated in the wire. This is the experiment which shows electromagnetic induction. So what is electromagnetic induction? If a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, then an EMF of induced current is developed in the conductor. We will see it is the phenomenon in which an EMF is induced, forced, disturbed. Okay, electrons are forced to move. Okay, they were sitting idly. Okay, they are sitting simply. Khushal basle hote. But if they are moved in the magnetic field, then they have to move. Okay, they are forced to move. That is said to be induced. So an EMF is induced in the coil due to change in magnetic field linked with the coil. Okay, linked in the coil. This experiment you may mark in your textbook. You may read first. This is the next topic, that is what is galvanometer. What is galvanometer? It is an instrument which shows the presence of current. Okay, now how is it built? What is the action which is going on inside a galvanometer? A galvanometer is similar to that of an electric motor. So you may see a coil is placed in between a magnet. So inside the galvanometer there are two magnets and in between they have placed a coil, just like that of an electric motor. The only difference is, okay, there is no electric supply to it. In case of electric motor, we are connecting it to a battery. Do you remember there was plus minus you had drawn? You had connected to it to an electric supply. In case of a galvanometer, we are connecting it to wires. Okay, the wires are connected to the galvanometer, and the galvanometer is having a coil which is placed in between a magnet, and the coil is connected to a pointer. The coil is connected to the pointer. Current is passed. When the current is passed, if the current is generated, then the current passes and the pointer shows deflection. The current is passed, coil rotates and the pointer moves. So this is the pointer which is at 0. It will move in this direction or in this direction. It will move like this. Okay, it will move like this. What is this? This is a pointer which is connected to a coil. The coil is placed in a magnetic field. Okay, and it is connected to the circuit. If there is current flowing, then the pointer will show movement, deflection. The rotation of the coil is directly proportional to the current which is passing through it. I repeat, the rotation of the coil is directly proportional to the current which is generated. Okay, if more current is there, then it will get deflected more. If less current is there, it will get deflected less. Okay, so you are having this question, galvanometer. Okay, the explanation is on page number 57. You may mark. Okay, from here a coil is placed till the end. Okay, you may mark accordingly. Now the next is Faraday's law of induction. Now what do you mean by induction? In Three Idiots, do you remember? Brrr, okay, that is induction motor. You had seen it, but that is not the way how an induction motor works. We have seen how an induction motor works. Okay, an induction motor or electric generator, it works based on three values. One is motion of conductor, second is magnetic field, and third is current. Okay, so it is these three things which are the basic things. Based on this, the electric motor works and the electric generator works. Now we will see what is Faraday's law of induction. Faraday's law of induction shows that if a coil is moved in a magnetic field, then a current is induced in it. Okay, we saw the experiments just now. Based on those experiments, this law is put forward. What is law then? Whenever the number of magnetic lines of force passing through the coil changes, current is induced in the coil. So I will show you. If this is a coil, and there are two magnets here, there are lines of force which is passing through the coil. Okay, here you may see the lines of force passing through the coil. These are the lines of force. If you move the coil, this is the original position. If you move the coil, if it comes in this position, then the number of lines of force is changing, isn't it? The number of lines of force is changing. That means whenever the number of magnetic lines of force passing through the coil changes, the current is induced in the coil. This is Faraday's law of induction. In simple words, there is a magnetic field, there is a coil, the electrons are sitting simply, not doing any work. But if the coil is moved in this magnetic field, the electrons start moving. Understood? So that is induction, that is induced current. So here the magnetic field of lines are like this. These are the magnetic lines of force, like this. But these are the magnetic lines of force. Okay, now when this is moving, some lines, the plus minus, some lines are going through it, some lines are going out of it. As it is moving, the lines of force are being cut. Okay, plus minus, increasing, decreasing. So whenever the number of magnetic lines of force passing through the coil changes, current is induced in the coil. This is Faraday's law of induction. This is a very important question. The current produced is called as induced current. I told you it is said to be induced current. The word induced, it is very, very important when you write these laws. Okay, now the next is Fleming's right hand rule. So the generator works on Fleming's right hand rule. Now what is Fleming's right hand rule? It is similar to that of Fleming's left hand rule. You have to hold your right hand with your index finger, with your central finger and your thumb mutually perpendicular to each other. You may see this is perpendicular, this is perpendicular, and this is perpendicular. Okay, all of them are perpendicular to each other. If the index finger shows the direction of magnetic field and the thumb shows the direction of motion of conductor, then the central finger will show the direction of induced current. That is Fleming's right hand rule. That means if this is the magnetic field and if you are moving the wire perpendicular to that, then the electrons will start moving in this direction. Okay, if there is a magnetic field in this direction and if you are moving the conductor in this direction, then the current will start moving through the conductor in the direction of central finger. So what is Fleming's right hand rule? Stretch your thumb, index finger and your central finger mutually perpendicular to each other. If the index finger shows the direction of magnetic field and the thumb shows the direction of motion of conductor, then the central finger will show the direction of induced current. That is the law. Okay, in your answer the term induced should be there, otherwise they will cut complete marks. You won't get even half the mark. Okay. Okay, so this is the diagram. You may draw this diagram: motion of conductor, direction of induced current, and direction of magnetic field. Now in this diagram and the diagram which we had drawn for Fleming's left hand rule, there is only one difference. Here it is magnetic field and here it is induced current. The motion of conductor is the same. Okay, you may learn accordingly, but both the rules are important. So in this chapter there are five rules. First is right hand thumb rule. Okay, right hand thumb rule and Fleming's right hand rule is different. Okay, now whenever you get a question, you may first read carefully and see whether it is right hand thumb rule or Fleming's right hand rule. They won't just ask you right hand rule. If the name Fleming's is not there, then you may write right hand thumb rule. Okay, if the question is only right hand rule, then you may write right hand thumb rule, not Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, so for Fleming's left hand rule and Fleming's right hand rule, the name Fleming's is given. Okay, so we studied about right hand thumb rule, corkscrew rule, then Fleming's left hand rule, Faraday's law of induction, and Fleming's right hand rule. These laws are important. You have to write according to the textbook or what has been given in the notes. You may mark in the textbook. So this is showing DC and this is showing AC. In DC it is moving in one direction only. I am showing you the direction. It is moving in one direction only. In case of AC, it is coming in this direction, moving in this direction, then in this direction, then in this direction. It is continuously reversing its direction. That means it reverses periodically. Its direction reverses periodically. Now there is a graph which is shown. Now in this graph, the time is taken on x-axis and current is taken on y-axis. You may see in case of DC, this is of DC, it is moving straight. It is not, its value is not at all changing. Not time is changing, not current is changing. It is remaining the same. Whereas in case of AC, you may see the current is increasing to a maximum point, then decreasing, coming to 0, and then decreasing in the opposite direction, then coming to 0, and then increasing in the opposite direction, then coming to 0. That means it is continuously increasing and decreasing. That means its magnitude is varying. That means it varies in magnitude. Okay, so this is the graph. This graph is said to be sinusoidal. The shape is called as sinusoidal. Okay, I will show you sinusoidal. You may see the term in the textbook, sinusoidal. Okay, so that is the symbol which is shown for AC current. From the graph you should be able to understand this is of DC. They have shown a battery. This is of AC because they have shown this symbol. Okay, now this graph shows about DC current. The increasing DC current is increasing means if you are keeping the DC, if you are using the DC current for a continuous period of time, then you are increasing it. Then it will go up and then will go stable. Okay, and if you are switching it off, then it will come down. Okay, that is the graph. The increasing DC, stable DC, and decreasing DC. So these are the three graphs. From here, the question asked will be distinguish between AC and DC, that is alternating current and direct current. Otherwise, there is a question in the textbook, distinguish between AC generator and DC generator. That question also will be asked. So this much you may write in your notebook. What is the current which is coming to our homes? It is AC current. And what is its potential difference? Its potential difference is 220 volts. Now you might have seen the power lines, the high tension wires. You might have seen the high tension wires. Which current do they carry? They also carry AC current. What is the potential difference? It could be 11 kV, kilovolts, or 66 kilovolts. The maximum is about 800 kilovolts. Okay, 800 kilovolt current in those wires. The wires which are here, you might have seen in Breilschow and so it, I think it is carrying 11 kV. Okay, 11 kV voltage of potential difference of current. And what is coming to our homes? It is only 220 volts. Okay, so it has to be, that has to be stepped down. Okay, that all part you are not having in your syllabus. You are having only, now in this lecture we have studied about Faraday's law of induction, Fleming's right hand rule, and distinguish between AC and DC and these graphs. You may read it today. If you are having any doubt, you may ask. Okay, thank you.